I fully believe that parasites are either manifestations of demons or like demonic receptors or receivers. And I believe that the Bible fully supports this. I've showed the scripture pretty extensively, but the best example is that when Jesus cast the demons out of the man, they asked to go into the pigs that were feeding nearby. There's like this mythology about pig dragons in Chinese mythology, and the whole thing around them was life force. Like they were known for eating spiritual life force. So I believe that what happens is when parasites enter people through sin or however they enter, I believe it's through like sin and like low vibrations. Nothing new age here, but like anger, anxiety, things like that. And they cause the person to act a certain way, and the demons or whatever they are feed off of the negative energy. That's why Jesus says the swine were feeding nearby when the guy was like freaking out over the demons. There's also like a line that is taken out of some modern translations that says this type of demon only goes out by prayer and fasting. Fasting weakens/kills parasites. Isaiah is given a coal off of the altar by a seraphim for purification. It says when it touches his lips, it's purifying. His fast looses the bands of wickedness. All throughout the Bible, Old and New Testament, you see wormwood used as both judgment and a cleansing agent. Wormwood kills parasites. In the book of Tobit, which is an apocryphal book, there's a part where they're burning fish guts to get like a demon out. Fish guts are anti-parasitic. I had a video of a biopsied tumor up where it showed them like cutting into it and it was just full of parasites. It's literally just a hard shell full of parasites. That's why it's called cancer. Because in astrology, which is demonic, cancer is the crab. Crabs are just hard shells full of yuck. Hence why the Torah says we shouldn't eat swine or shellfish, because both are bottom feeders, they're cleaners, and they are the most parasitic animals that you could eat. I also find it very interesting that none of the antique Bibles that I've read have the line that says all foods were made clean. Like it's totally omitted, and I guess that's like an editor's note that was recently added. And the notes for that section, when I look through them, they always just point to like hand washing rituals. They don't say that like the food laws have been done away with. And even when I was an atheist, I was like a pickier eater. I didn't eat those things sheerly just because I was like, okay, they're like the cleaners. Like I don't want to eat something that eats like Skittles and like bones. No judgment to anybody that does. For me, it's a no-go. The ancient Egyptians believed that they could fully possess their pharaohs, like when they wanted to purposely do it, by having a cat spread a certain parasite into the pharaoh. And like that was it. Like that's how they possessed their pharaohs, was by intentionally introducing a specific parasite to their bodies. This is also what secret societies do still today. Some of you guys may have seen like the eye thing that they do where they like intentionally put stuff in their eye. There are so many benefits to doing a parasite heavy metal cleanse. People have told me that they no longer have intrusive, blasphemous thoughts. For mental health issues like anxiety, depression, cancer. Yes, cancer is the biggest one that people always bring up. People have told me that it has turned them straight. And that makes sense because one of the most common parasites, it's like toxicity or something like that, literally in a lab setting has been shown to cause like gender dysphoria and homosexuality and things like that. All types of diseases, because I am under the belief that the majority of diseases are from parasites. I do not believe anything the mainstream tells us. If you look at people like Dr. Sebi and like other doctors that like give us the keys to curing cancer and stuff, they'll always tell you like an alkaline diet or like fasting or doing this or doing that. I've come to realize now, knowing what I know, all of these public figures know or knew, because they get taken out a lot, that it was parasites. And they were trying to give us the keys to figuring it out, or like give us a tool to make our bodies less hospitable for the parasites without outwardly saying, hey, it's parasites. And they still take them out because the entire medical industry relies on us not knowing this one piece of information. And contrary to popular belief, yes, we have them in America. They're in the food, they're spraying them, they're in medicines. Most people have them, especially if you are not actively keeping up with your cleanse. We're like the only first world country that does not parasite cleanse. Like it's actually not really normal to not deworm. So I'm going to give you what I do. It's the realistic version that I think most people would like actually do and what I actually can keep up with and what works for me. You can go more complicated with this, but I like to keep mine biblical and have it actually work. So this is what I do first and foremost, always, but especially with this, we want to fast when we can, always be praying to Jesus and in our Bibles. That is going to be your strongest set of tools because this is spiritual warfare. I believe it's just manifesting into the physical in this way. In my opinion, I believe the Bible strongly supports it. I know a lot of people don't agree with me. I'm not here to convince anybody. If you feel differently, that's totally okay. But if this is something that you're interested in, I just want to give you the steps that I took and I've seen others have results with. Let me just start by saying I am not a professional. This is what I do. This is what works for me. Other people have told me it works for them too. Everybody's going to be different. Nobody should do this if you are pregnant, breastfeeding. You also don't have to go with the same exact brands that I did. I found these to be the ones I like the best overall out of what I've tried, but use what works for you, what is affordable to you. None of these brands know who I am. I don't make any money off of this. I'm just showing you like what I actually use. So before starting this, you need to make sure that you're going to the bathroom consistently. If you are not, the toxins will just recirculate in your system because what happens is you do a parasite cleanse that kills off the parasites, but the parasites get angry and they emit like toxins after a few hours. So you have to catch those with a binder. If you catch them with a binder and there's nothing sending them out of your body, like you're not going to the bathroom, you're not sweating them out, like there's no exiting, you are going to feel much worse. You need to be like consistently exiting and your lymphatic system needs to be moving. So for the actual anti-parasitic, because it's biblical, wormwood, black walnut, and cloves. These are all bitters like the Israelites ate, and the wormwood is mentioned several times over in the Bible. The wormwood is your biggest one that you want to make sure your supplement has, but black walnut and cloves are awesome when paired with wormwood because they kill all of the life cycles of the parasites because they're having eggs and like in different life stages and things like that. So these smoke like all life cycles at once. So it's best to find something that has all three, but if you can only do wormwood, wormwood will also work. I really, really like this one. I've tried quite a few and this one's my favorite. It's $19. If you need to go cheaper, that is totally okay. Just find a brand that has decent reviews or use what you have at home. So I'll take the anti-parasitic and then I'll wait about an hour, and I don't have any food or drink outside of water in this time frame because it'll mess with the charcoal. Mine is in a baggie because I gave my sister the bottle because I wanted her to start it. But these are activated charcoal pills. So what happens is when the parasites are being like injured and broken up and stuff by the anti-parasitic, they get angry and they send out like toxins and heavy metals and stuff into your body to try and like fight back so that you stop whatever you're doing. The charcoal binds to the toxins and even to some of the parasites that are dying and on their way out, and sends them out through your gut. So at least an hour before and after I take my charcoal capsule, I don't eat or drink anything outside of water because I want it to bind to the toxins, not to like the food and water particles. These came out of this bottle. Highly recommend. This is like almost 5 stars, I think, and I haven't had any issues. I love these, and obviously I share them. Super good price for how many you get. It comes with 200. So the parasites create something called a biofilm inside of your body. It's basically like snots, and they hide inside of it because it's a little more difficult for our bodies to locate it and like get rid of it because it hides in your like intestinal lining and like different places in the body. There's a compound in pineapples called bromelain that is a killer with biofilm. I like to get as much of these things as possible from like food and drink. So I usually get my bromelain from pineapple or pineapple juice. I drink it every single day. So I sometimes make it, but I also like the So Fresco detox shots. I get these from my Wegmans. If you cannot drink or eat pineapple every single day, go for a bromelain supplement. So sometimes the charcoal can constipate people. So for that, but also for like in general, I love this. I use castor oil to do castor oil packs once or twice a week over my stomach, and it is the bomb. The health benefits are amazing. This one is the Genesis brand, which of course I'm partial to because of the name. Right before bed, I just open it and I pour it in my belly button and like all over my stomach, but focus on your right side because that's where your liver is. And then you can put like a cotton t-shirt or a towel over it to not like get it on your sheets or anything. And you wake up and Like my skin clears up, my stomach's super flat, so many benefits, but this helps your liver and like your digestion and stuff so much. I feel like people don't think about our skin as an organ in the same way that we should. Yes, this does affect your insides, even though it's on your stomach. It's wild. If you have never done castor oil packs, highly recommend. Even if you're not doing a parasite cleanse, I still recommend doing these. This one's $20. Use what you have. If you need to go cheaper, totally fine. I just recommend making sure that it's in a dark glass bottle because it has like a pulling action. Barbara O'Neill actually talks about castor oil a lot. She says that she's seen it break up like fibroids and all types of things in her patients. So you don't want it like in a plastic bottle, like pulling the BPAs out into the oil and then putting it on yourself if you can avoid that. Everybody's going to be different with timing. Generally, I would say start with 30 days, see how you feel. If you're like feeling a lot better, if you're no longer noticing things like come out of you, then you can probably take a rest period and then do like maintenance cycles throughout the year. So I typically do like 1 week every other month for like a maintenance cycle after like a big yearly purge of these things. But if you feel like it's still like working after like 3 weeks to a month, I would personally say go a full like 60 or 90 days and just take a couple days off throughout the cycle. This is one of those things where like everybody's going to tell you something different. You have to be intuitive with your body. So like listen to what your body is telling you and be observant. If you start getting die-off symptoms, which are typically like kind of flu-like you'll have a lot of like mucus and like just feel like overall kind of down and lethargic, you need to move your lymph. So take hot showers and make sure that you wet your hair, because I know like as women, we don't wash our hair every single day. Make sure that you wet your hair because a lot of your lymph nodes are in your head and you want to get them moving. You could dry brush, you could wear circulation socks, you could go on a walk, whatever you can, just get the lymph moving if you start feeling this way. So for me, I didn't have like any major Herx symptoms like some people do, but you really have to make sure that you are going to the bathroom and that your lymphatic system is moving, because there are days where like I can tell that I don't feel as good as I could, and I know that it's from that. So I'll go and like walk my dog or make sure I go to the gym or whatever, and then I feel back to normal. If you wear deodorant with aluminum in it, you really should switch. Or even like if you have a weekend off of work or whatever where you can be home and you don't have to wear like the deodorant, do it. Just do it, because your body needs time to unclog from that. You can use like glycolic acid, that works really well. Some people use lime, or even if you can do like a natural one, it helps your body detox a lot. I'm not going to give like an overall recommended dose. I would say just follow whatever your bottle says. Again, I'm not like a healthcare person. I have researched this a lot, but I'm not like a holistic health professional. I just know like what works for me. And I'm just giving you an idea of a routine that you can replicate if you'd like to, or like just if you're curious to see what I'm doing, that's all. I've also seen a lot of people online saying that God is waking them up to this, which I think is really interesting, because I have felt like a major push from God to talk about these things, because I feel like a lot of Christians kind of like stray away from it because they feel like it's like, I don't know, like hokey pokey, like new age hippie. I don't know. I like supplements and stuff because I want to make sure that I'm like taking care of my body to the best of my ability. Let's get the conversation going and take the stigma away from taking care of our health with the things that God placed here for us to do so, instead of relying on